Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Are you excited? Are you excited? It makes me very happy to be here with you today. I'm very happy and grateful to share with you this evening. Today, I want to take a look at something that is very important. I can remember when I started this business, what I'm going to do today is talk with everyone, including with those people that are here for the very first time. The reason I'm speaking today is because maybe I already understand some things about the business. But many times, the new people that are here for the first time, it is important that you understand the power of the business you have in your hands, the incredible vehicle that we have, and it's equally important you understand the point of view that I have understood, because we're going to talk about the secrets in this business. Your ability to understand the process will determine the success you have constructing your organization. Everyone is here to learn more so you can have success, right? You're here to learn so that you can have success. The first thing that is important to understand is the industry of network marketing is precious. Learn about network marketing. Those of you who are invited here for the first time, ask the person who brought you here, what is network marketing? Give me information about network marketing. I've never heard of network marketing. I have no idea what network marketing is. You will find out that this business is miraculous and is capable through habits and discipline to make all of your dreams come true. Ask the person who invited you for information. Tell them you want a couple of CDs. And which book, most importantly, do you recommend for me to read first so I can understand? So today, I'm going to focus on key fundamentals of the business for those people who want to know more. My intentions are to share with you from my heart. Nothing in the world will take away your opportunity to be diamond. This is a minimum pin to reach in this business. This will happen if you are aware of what it takes to become diamond. Set this as your goal and start to dream, and along the way, throughout your journey, you're going to have an incredible life. You're going to have a life of freedom. You're going to have a life of freedom that outside from here, society does not offer. I do not know any other place outside that will reward you for the work you do in your journey to reach diamond. I worked in corporate America 15 plus years as an employee. I went to several universities. I have visited universities, and there is no place I have ever seen or heard of with an education system that educates people on how to achieve freedom. I've never heard of it, seen it, or found an institution that educates you to have freedom. Not only to live in freedom, but to be free. That is the opportunity that we have when we start this business. This is an opportunity in front of you that gives the results of freedom. When we start this business, we have to understand it is the beginning of a journey. It is a journey to become a business person that gives you the opportunity to achieve freedom. Once I understood what I was doing in this business, I positioned myself to do the work necessary to reach for and set autonomy as a goal. I began to stretch and do what I was told because I understood that I was going to convert 45 years of working a career into 5 or less years that it takes to become diamond. I had 20 plus years of education, and 45 years of work as an employee was the end result. I had to become teachable. I wanted to learn the habits and disciplines of the diamonds. books, tapes, seminars, and conventions. I attended them all. Little by little, I could see the vision in my mind's eye, step by step, tape by tape, meeting by meeting, plan, 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 and I grew to become determined. I formed my life in a way that I could read the books and learn the disciplines and habits to make this work. At the same time, I worked on my faith and my belief. And I remember the day I set the goal to become diamond in 5 years. If you found an opportunity to start a business where you are able to convert 45 years into 5 years, would you consider doing it? I know people that work well into their 70s just to survive. Have you ever been told that you can achieve diamond in 5 years or even 3 years if you want to? What would you do? You duplicate what our rich professors have done to achieve freedom through the education program Amway has. When we start this business, we plug into the education program, and here we have all the keys and secrets waiting for us to discover to have success. It is a process of growth and development. It gives us the opportunity to change from when we start from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. And this does not happen overnight. Do the work it takes to understand the process, and that is when you can become diamond. The professors we have are all rich. They all have the business and results we want. Our education program will give you the master key that shows you how to get the results you want. They teach us wisdom, values, principles, habits, and the discipline that it takes to become diamond. There are no secrets. Everything is revealed to you and waiting for you to discover it. All you have to do is get the information and apply it to your life, and you will achieve freedom. The information keys and secrets are revealed to you, and all you have to do is make up your mind to find out what they are and adjust your life to these laws of nature. Do what you have to do. When they told me that I can convert 45 years into 5 years, first thing I asked was, who do I have to kill? Where do I have to go? What do I have to do? They told me that I need to connect to an education program that will guide me on a journey that will transform my character. The education program helps us become a better person. So the question I have is, what is the fundamental principle behind the education program? It is used to help us become agreeable and to lift up our people skills when you go to give the plan. When we start, the first thing I do is connect people to an education program that will guide you to your goals. The education program will show you how to become a leader. The education program is a treasure that you have in your hands. And why is this? Because you will not find any other establishment on the outside that does this for you. There is no other institute of education that is solely focused on leadership like Amway. It does not exist. It does not exist, and it is incredible that large multinational businesses, the largest companies in the world, guess what? Guess who fights within the companies? The leaders. The leaders fight. The great communicators in the company fight amongst each other. The ones that have the ability to inspire their employees fight between each other. It's the ones who have the ability to use their imaginations, and they are the ones who fight at the top. The people who are capable of creating for the company are the ones who disagree with each other due to politics in the workplace. These people fighting have the gifts within them that could transform the world, but instead they are silenced. It is incredible that there are headhunters that place high performance people into organizations. The most incredible thing this business does is form leaders. It would not be possible for a headhunter to replace a leader in this business of Amway. Traditional business on the outside is not capable of offering or forming leaders the way Amway does. This explains how powerful, miraculous, and incredible the education program we have is. One of the secrets I want to give you today is give yourself a chance to listen to information, at least 5 CDs and a book. Go to a meeting or the next convention. If you do these things in the beginning, it is better for you because you will not waste months figuring out if this is something you want to do. You will know very quickly what your decision is. So now the first thing that I had to do is become a leader. I had to become a better human being. I had to do this for one fundamental reason. The reason is you have to construct this business by contacting people. The core of this business is to contact and talk to people. Come to find out, traditional education does not teach us the ability to contact and connect properly with people. This is why we get paid so little as employees on the outside. We were not educated to be winners. We were educated to be employees and work hourly or for a salary that is already predetermined before they've even met you. There's a huge difference between the two different types of educations. Traditional education forms us to be employees, and the education program we have transforms us into business people. We go to school to get an education to work as an employee of a company, and we're never taught how to win in life. You must win in life. To me, there is no other option. We were not taught how to have success in business. We were not educated to triumph, create, or transform our character into a business person. We are educated in school to work for a company. Simply put, we're educated to work as an employee. So when our education is over, we finish incompetent to do this business. We do not know what the laws of nature are. We were never told to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It does not matter if you're doctors, lawyers, or university professors, we start the business with a high level of incompetence. The reason for this is very sincere. It is because we have to face other people. We have to confront the fear of talking with other people. So the first thing that helped me in this business was something I learned through the education program. It stood out to me very quickly that I had to work on my attitude. The first thing that this business showed me was that I had to improve my attitude. This is one of the first things that you must do when you start your business. The majority of new people that are here, along with the really new people that are here, are excited when they start their business. This is a business of leadership and communication where people start out with excitement. We're filled with excitement and start to talk with people on the outside. Have you ever noticed that? When a new person sees the business, they get excited. After they listen to the first audio, they have the urge to start talking. A good attitude does not have much to do with talking. So, good news for the people that are timid. For those people who say, I do not talk, not even to my grandma, those people can do this business. The people who are timid can do this business. And for people like me that talk a lot, it will be more difficult for us to do this business for one reason. The first plans that I gave in this business lasted 3 hours. 3 hours. Just now, a leader asked me, how long do you take to give a plan? Today, I take in between 5 to 7 minutes. And look at this. The new person will do a plan in 3 hours, One of the first plans that I gave, he was a professional, and I began to tell him how money was created in the agrarian age. I talked about everything that had to do with the history of money, the Italian banks, the problems society had after the creation of money. And he started to hallucinate. And I talked about how money surged in the world and how it was received. And I then proceeded to talk about the industrial era was born and how Watson created the steam machine that changed our world at the time. I went over the industrial era and started to explain how employees were created, and at the end of 3 hours, I finally finished my plan. Do you think that this man entered the business? No, of course not. He did not come into the business because he said it was too hard. When in the world am I going to give that conference? This guy was very smart and knows a lot, and he became discouraged. That man will never enter this business because he thinks it's too hard. I killed him for life, and he will never start this type of business. What was it that I did wrong? It was the attitude that I had. The attitude that I had did not work. Look at this. Logically, I was prepared, but he was a friend of mine and did not have to hear all of this. All the information that I had learned, I gave it to the prospect, which overwhelmed him. That was the reason he will never enter the business. It was too much at one time. What I'm saying is that I had to learn how to contact people. After 8 years of listening, learning, and watching our leaders, I would give plans to the walls for practice to get better at my plans. In the beginning, I assassinated people. I was killing people because when you start in this business, you are an assassin. Have you ever noticed when you start, normally you talk to your family? Naturally, they are the first because you want them to know what you're doing. So you call your cousin. The cousins are reverse when it comes to doing this business. Cousin, cousin, you have to do this business. You would not imagine, cousin. And of course, you start to assassinate your cousin. Then you begin to assassinate all of your brothers and your uncles and in laws from your marriage. After these people have all been assassinated, you then turn your sights on all of the surrounding people, which includes your neighbors that live near you. You start to assassinate people, and the next person you meet with is your mother in law. Well, that's not always so bad. Sometimes it's okay. Well, that is okay. But anyway, you finish assassinating the whole world, and this happens because you have a bad attitude. How scary is that? It happens because you have an attitude that does not work in this business. Look, you talk too much. You're like the lights on a Christmas tree that is lit up on all ends. The first secret that we find out is we have a business that works with 100% of your intelligence. A secret that you will soon discover is called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. We must grow our emotional intelligence. The business is much easier for people that have high emotional intelligence. This is a challenge for us to overcome. Increase our emotional intelligence. The way to find this is through education, 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 education. Logically speaking, the business of Amway is not a business of motivation. There are people who tell me, oh, you get people together in a room to motivate them. I tell them, you don't understand anything. Diamonds do not motivate, diamonds educate. We do not motivate for one fundamental reason. We do not have motivators in this business, we have educators. I have groups that call me and say, I'm losing my motivation. Sometimes I want to say, die once and for all and get it over with. Go ahead and die and get it over with, because this is not a business of motivation. It is a business of education. Why is this secret so important to understand? The reason is because motivation is emotional, but education forms your emotional intelligence in such a way that motivation is temporary and education lasts a lifetime. When a person is educated, that person will never complain in this business. They will never complain in this business. I have people tell me that I have lost my motivation, and I tell them, well, you do not understand. God bless you. And they leave. The reason this happens is because they never educated themselves. The difference is the leaders you meet are the teachers. The people that invited you are not people who get emotional with this business. They are people who are, well, what do you think? Are they educated or motivated? They're educated. They read books. They've been forming in their mind a journey to reach their goals. They have created their own circumstance that permits them to have emotional intelligence. These are the difference that set us apart from everyone else. Emotional intelligence is evident in the way we contact people, and it is evident in how we give the plan. If you want to measure the capacity of emotional intelligence, measure it in how they talk to people. Observe how we listen. Witness how we know how to be quiet when we have to be quiet. This is the number one reason why it is difficult for us to do the business of Amway. It is difficult because in the beginning, we have to contact people and we scare them away. Does contacting people scare you? I still get scared when I contact people. Fear is emotional. Fear is emotional. Fear is emotional, and through the education program, your character will advance, grow, and transform as long as you stay plugged in. This business will reveal the secrets to you, and the more information that you have, your internal growth will take away your fear one small step at a time, bit by bit, step by step, day by day. It was information that started to take my fear away. Can you imagine? The other day I was talking with a pilot who is a friend of mine. He said pilots receive an education that forms emotional intelligence to take away fear. And I thought, wow, that sounds right. Can you imagine a pilot with the 777 flying one of those huge planes with fear? Can you imagine the pilot in the cockpit, 30,000 feet in the air, with 300 people in the back saying, oh, dang, there's a cloud? No, it would not work. Pilots have to take away their fear. So look at this. When pilots fly, they talk to each other. They are talking in the cabin, and the clouds come right at the plane, and they go right through them like a warm knife through butter. They go right through them without fear. They have taken away their fear. Pilots are not scared. It is real. It is real. So you see, the first thing that you have to take away to do this business is to start to take away the fear each of us have. After today, you will not be scared. Take away your fear. Shake off the fear. Take away the fear. Read about the business. Go back and read. Go back and listen to the audios and take away your fear. Listen to the CDs, and the leaders will tell you about this business. Dedicate to yourself 15 to 30 minutes per day, and you will start to learn the basics of this business. The education program will guide you to the books, CDs, seminars, and functions, and you will have access to the information. The secret is there are no secrets. It is available to you. Have the determination to get the information and start learning. This is how I do the business, and I do it without fear, because when you give plans with fear, guess what happens? The person can smell it. And they say, why would I go into the business with the person and they're full of fear? You must go with the least amount of fear possible to talk with someone, because that is the first thing that I did, was to work on taking away a little bit of my fear. One of the things that I share with people is that animals have shown me a lot about human nature. I used to have a little Yorkie, and her name was Nena. I also had a chocolate Labrador, which is a big dog. Nena was a super cute and tiny dog, and I want to share a story with you about Nena, the Yorkie, that happened almost every day. Nena would go sit down on the Labrador's giant bed that we had in the living room. Each day, Nena would stretch out on the doggy bed, and what do you think the Labrador would do? The Labrador wants Nana to get out of his bed. So the bigger dog from the other side of the room walks towards Nana and gets close. The dog gets close because he wants to lay in his own bed. And as soon as the dog gets close enough, the Yorkie strikes. But Nana never reaches the Labrador's mouth. The Labrador saw the force that Nana has, and the big Labrador every day would tuck his tail and hide. The big dog goes to the corner of the room to re examine what just happened. The Labrador is 8 times bigger than the Yorkie in size. It is amazing to watch. The Yorkie is this big in size. What does Nana have? Attitude, and that is what you need to be successful in this business. That is what you need to do this business. The only thing you need to do this business is attitude. One of the things you need to start is to do it professionally with attitude. The other thing you need is to make the decision to commit and do not ever quit your journey. So quickly I learned to apply attitude to this business. When I saw the interactions between my dogs, it confirmed to me how important attitude is. One day I met a guy and we became friends. He asked me what I did for a living. This man worked at Kroger's, and I started to tell him about the business, and he stopped me in the middle of a sentence. And he said, I know of this business you do. My brother was in it, and so was my grandmother in the 70s. My mother got involved in the 80s, and not too long ago, my aunt was in it as well. My sister was in it, and her next door neighbor also was in the business. So I asked him, how long have you been working for Kroger's? I could tell with his body language that he has a bad attitude now. So I asked him, how long have you been working at your job? He tells me 12 years. I tell him, well, this is not for you. I told him, this is not for you. My Yorkie dog showed me how to do this business with attitude. I told the guy that worked for Kroger, this is not for you because you have 12 years at your job, and that is very important. If you start a business like this, you're going to become unfocused. Kroger's is the most important thing that you have in your life. Don't mess it up and become unfocused. How many children do you have? He told me he had 3 children. I said, no, 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 no. You have 3 children. You have your job. This is not for you. This is for people who are, well, right here, you do not insult the people. I cannot say this is for people who are not so dumb. I cannot say that. I say normally this is for people who have a bit of flexibility and refuse to settle for mediocrity. But I'm happy for you. You have been with Kroger's for many years, and this is not for you. And strike, just like my Yorkie showed me. How precious is that? When I'm done with the meeting, he tells me, tell me how someone joins or starts this business. How nice is that? Why? Because we have now learned the second lesson of today. Humans will do the opposite of what you want. Wow. People will do the opposite of what we want, and that is incredible. It's incredible. One time, a group of mine saw bad information from a blogger site on the internet. The leader called me and told me that the entire group saw information on the internet that was real bad. The group wanted for me to talk with them and answer their questions about what they saw on the internet. I asked him, how many are there in your group that's complaining? He told me there's 17 of them, practically all my group. I called the leader back and I told him, tell him to leave. This is not for them. And those that are questioning the bad information on the internet, go ahead and tell them that it's true. Strike just like my Yorkie showed me. Tell the people who are complaining to leave. You know why? Because this is a precious business that gives us the opportunity to achieve autonomy. How are you going to beg people who have their minds made up already? How are you going to do it? How are you going to beg them? They already heard audios, they already went to the events, they already went to the seminars, and they've already heard the diamond stories. Ah, and now they want to complain. Leave. The other day I saw them in a group meeting and I said, I thought you were going to leave and you're still here. I told them that they have to learn the second lesson of today. Do not read trash. Do not read trash because that is like arriving to Dallas and you go directly to the trash in Dallas. Everyone knows that there's trash in Dallas. What happens if you go straight to the landfills that are located in Dallas? What would be your opinion of Dallas if you were consumed with the trash of the city during your one and only visit? Of course, there is trash in Dallas. What is the difference if you arrive in Dallas and see the beautiful streets, buildings, parks, and lakes? Do you believe you will have a different attitude towards your visit? You're going to have a spectacular attitude because it is a very beautiful city. This is another characteristic that will grow if you start to work on it. If you begin to transform your character, you will start to see the good in people instead of always seeing the bad first. One of the advantages I learned is I do not contact negative people about this business. I do not like it because it contaminates me. Be careful of the negative people in your life. They will challenge your beliefs you are learning. The good news is, if you begin to develop the disciplines and habits it takes to be successful in this business, it will be much harder for them to get over the wall that was built with information. So one day I decided to take the bus. I wanted to do a test of people that I meet during the day, so I decided to take the bus. I encountered a person that told me, I asked him, "Where are you headed to?" And he told me, "I'm going to get off in two more stops." And I asked him, how's your day going? He smiled real big back at me. I thought, this guy is a happy person. This guy could do the business. I don't invite long faced people, horse faces. If a person has a long face, I do not invite them to take a look at this business. The reason I do not invite negative people is because they need a lot of therapy. So I only invite the happiest people I meet, the most positive people I meet, and I bring in talent. So what I look for is people that smile. I ask them how they are, and I ask them how beautiful is East Fort Worth. Lies. East Fort Worth is full of holes in the street because they are fixing the streets and have everything shut down. So I project my positivity and tell the man, East Fort Worth is beautiful, isn't it? The man tells me, wow, it's going to be pretty when they're done building the roads. This person is good and has a great attitude. He understands that in life, you have to make it what you want to see. A person sees what they want to see. Life is what we make of it. So that tells me this person has a superior character over others. So the time came in my journey that I started to contact people about the business and began to follow up. Do you think that this business is sincere? What does the majority of the people do? They start to contact people that have the longest faces they know. You have to beg them to join the business with me. This business is fantastic. Give the business posture. Give the business posture. Don't worry. There are millions and millions of people, millions and millions of people that want you to tell them about this business. There are millions of people that want you to tell them about this business. So I learned to make my attitude better and to use posture inside this business. I have dedicated my growth to amplify my group of contacts. And this is another secret you will uncover. If you have the same 8 people in your circle, they will say, "Oh, no, I've gone through all my contacts." When I give someone the plan, I ask them to give me leads, and they tell me I do not have friends. And I tell them, well, you at least have to have four friends because when you die, who's going to carry you? You need to have at least four friends. Four is the minimum amount of friends that you can have. A grandma told me once, no, I am always by myself. I'm always by myself, she said. How much is she going to fall in love with Amway? What does she need to do? She needs to have a better attitude. So I try to talk to people that say, I have 80 friends. I will tell them, introduce me to everyone. I will ask, are they awesome people like you? Are they geniuses? Yes, they are genius. Why are they genius? Because they're happy. Bring them to me. When the time comes to go over the list of friends, I ask, what does this person do? That person is somewhat negative. Okay, put that one to the side. Next person. Contact people who are incredible for your business when you start your list of contacts. As you move along through this journey, your character will begin to transform and you will grow on the inside. You will learn how to dream again and you will learn to live a life with goals. You learn to become agreeable through books and the results are incredible. Your life will never be the same, and if you put in the work, develop the discipline, and habits of diamonds, you will live a life that 99% of the population will never be able to live. Start to dream. This is the fruit that comes from the tree we plant on the inside as we take action in the beginning by plugging into the education program. When you start to read and understand the business of Amway, you will begin to uncover the keys and secrets that show us how to have freedom. You will begin to see the style of life it gives. When someone starts to see everything, that is when you start to live again. I was an employee for 15 plus years. I went to school for 20 plus years. I have postgraduates. I was going to start a doctorate's degree. Ridiculous. I was doing all of that, and 45 years were waiting for me to work so I can barely get by month to month. I will never forget the day I found this brilliant idea. An idea where in 5 years I will have reached autonomy. I remember one time I went to a chiropractor. When you visit a doctor, normally depending on the situation, what do they say? They will say you have such and such problem, and if you go to the doctor for consultation, oftentimes they will want to operate on you. Every time that I make an appointment, this is what happens to me, so prepare yourself because they're going to operate on you. The chiropractor told me you have a problem with your back after he examined the x-rays. So I asked him, look, what do I have to do? And he told me that we need to start with appointments. And they said that I will have to come to appointments 3 times a week. I said, okay, can you come Monday morning at 7 a.m.? I said, yes. Can you come Tuesday at 4 p.m.? I said, I can come to that one also. And Wednesday at 1 p.m.? And I said, yes. Thursday at 10 a.m., and he made note of it. And when I told him Thursday at 10 a.m., he stood up and he asked me, do you work? My answer to him was no, I don't like to work. And he said, how is that possible that you do not work? The thing is, I like to do what I want. I like to do what I want. He then asked me, what do you do? Really, I don't understand it, but I have a great time. I do not have to work. He laughed a little bit with me. I began to go to the appointments and I began to hear him talk. As I started to listen, as he began to tell me that he has an extra business as well. But in general, he asked me, what is it that you do? I told him I give conferences and I work all over the country. But you told me the other day that you do not work. No, I do not work because I saw when I worked for 15 years, I saw that it does not pay well. Don't you see that? I saw that having a job does not pay good. And after 15 years as an employee, he asked me, so what is it that you do then? I began an education program that showed me how to become a business person. So I became a business person. With that model of education, I have been able to become financially free in just a few years. That is very interesting. And now I have stores on the internet and it made me free. I don't have to do anything and I don't have to work. How interesting. What is that all about? He asked. So he started telling me his story, and by nighttime, I signed him into the business. And that chiropractor is learning how to be free. He is learning how to be free. He's learning. That contact came from going to get my back checked. The reason it happened is because he saw something. He noticed a style of life that he was interested in. He saw a style of life that he was interested in. So, this is what happens when your attitude grows. I was never going to talk to him about the business. I was not going to talk with him about the business. I wanted him to take a look at my back. But I signed him up because I listened to him and he heard the problems that he has and how his dreams went down the wayside. So, what I did was start a friendship. We became friends. Today we're friends. And I am friends with the family, and he's building a beautiful business. You know what he tells me? For the first time, I heard the word of freedom. That is exactly what happened to me. Freedom, freedom, autonomy. He told me for the first time I began to dream. How much is that worth? How much is that worth? That you give a person the opportunity to dream again. How much is it worth that you give a person the opportunity to create a group of dreamers and people that are learning worldwide? This does not exist outside in society. Let me share with you why this business impacts people. People are impacted because they go to work, then go home, go to work, then go home, repeat and repeat. People forget about dreaming. I had the same life of going in circles. It is the same situation I was in when I started my business. I was living a very similar life. I would wake up, have breakfast, then go to work. I would come home tired and watch TV, repeat, repeat, and I never dreamed. Who is going to dream with a routine in life like that? We're not able to. Do you know people who live a life like that? 20 plus years of education, and my life was going in circles, stuck in the same routine. This is why the business of Amway has everything to do with attitude. We work to understand the phenomenon of what happens inside a human. That is why I do not beg people to do this business. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying is this opportunity is magnificent. It is magnificent from my point of view. This business is precious. Today, there are 5,000 dreamers around the world that are showing others to dream. 5,000 diamonds that teach us how important having a dream is. Show me a university that has that. Show me a university that can do this. That is a tremendous gift you give a friend or person you contact about this business. This is the reason why when people ask me to give a plan for them, with them, or if I can meet their contacts, I always ask if the person has already listened to the audios before we meet. Normally, they will say yes. One time, a woman lied to me that her contact had listened to audios. I knew she lied because when I saw the man, he had a long face. He was the owner of a business in a shopping strip. I sat there and it felt very weird to be in his office. I saw him with his arms crossed and his legs crossed, showing me his attitude that screamed, "Convince me." Has that ever happened with anyone here? His attitude was, "Persuade me to consider doing this business for you." I sat there and thought to myself, with all the information that I have in my head and the passion inside of me today, have your mother convince you, because I'm not going to convince him. I'm not going to convince him. I'm not going to do it. You can't convince another person to do this business. When you understand this principle, your life will change. Your results will change. Contacts or prospects have to listen to information. They have to understand the life that waits for them. If they do not change the way they think and start to do something different, if they do not believe the information that is in the education program, I'm not going to beg them otherwise or try to convince anyone. Do not beg the people. Do not ever beg people. Don't do it. Look for someone else. Look for someone else. What you have to do is look for someone else. Look for someone else. There are millions of people that want to become winners. There are people that want to become winners. There are a lot of people out there that are looking for an opportunity so they can give their best effort. Can you believe an opportunity where they give you everything you need to fight for your freedom? This company will give you everything you need and reveal all the keys and secrets to you through the education program. The only thing you have to do is use your head to do this business. The only thing you need is the mindset to do this business. One of the most spectacular things that I see is people for the first time will start to dream again. A little while ago, a person told me when we were talking about goals or just things we wanted to do, he said, "Wow, that is awesome. You've been doing this for 8 years and you still dream?" It's a valid comment. I told that person the beautiful thing about this business is you just get started when you become diamond. You just begin to take the top off the box of your dreams. When you become diamond, it does not end, where you close your box of dreams and put it away. When you become diamond, you start to take the lid off your box of dreams. This will happen because you are just beginning to dream. You begin to dream, and this is important because all of this time, the only thing that I have ever worked on is my attitude to understand this business better, to understand to the best of my ability, and it is incredible. A while back, a person asked me what I have received from this business. Outside of money, what I have gotten from this business is that there is no company that could hire me. There is no company that could hire me. If there was a position that paid $15,000 a month, which is a good position, there is not a company that would take me, because I would tell the company that wants to take me to work for them, "Can I come and go as I please?" They'll tell me no. "Can I make my family my first priority and the company second?" No. "Can I go on vacation when I want for as long as I want?" No. "Can I take vacation when I want and time off at my discretion?" They will tell me no. I don't think it would work. There is no company that can contract you because you are a winner. You have transformed into a winner, and you understand that money has a different significance. You begin to understand that it is not only about money, it is the style of life and many other blessings that come along with this opportunity. What you have to do is learn how to be a winner. Do something brilliant in life. It does not have to be in this business, but do not settle for mediocrity. Be brilliant. Give in life the best version of you. Give it the best that you know. Give your life to something you want. Do not be mediocre. Be brilliant. When you win, it is beautiful. To win feels great, and we have to show others how to win. Do the work it takes to grow so we can become better people to those around us. We are marvelous people, but we need education to win in life. We need a different type of information. We need an education that transforms us, an education that you take to the grave, a different education where people can recover the hope that has been taken away by society. We need an education that transforms us in a different way. We need to teach our children to win. We do not know how to win. Amway has all the tools we need to do this business and to triumph. But we must develop our abilities of leadership that lay asleep inside. We already have the abilities to become an effective leader. All of our abilities are hidden inside, and it is our responsibility to bring them out and transform our character so that we can do this business successfully. What we have to do is grow in character in order to win. We send our children to school to get an education on how to become an employee. We are told to get an education from people who do not dream. After the education we get, we work for the next 40 years and are never given the chance to dream. This is the society that we have lived in for hundreds of years. Very quickly, our children will one day rebel because their spirit lays asleep and they become restless. The parents will tell them that they have to go to college, and when I was in school, I did not like it that I had to learn about the different rivers all around the world. I had to memorize different rivers in different parts of the world as if I wanted to become a fisherman. You do not need to know about rivers in order to have success as a business person. This is why children rebel against their parents. Parents will say you need to go to school so one day you can become like me. Kids do not want to go to school because they do not like the style of life that their parents have.